Yes, finally we made it. We are here. This is Real Life Money Monday. Do we have something super exciting for you today? Yes, we do. Why? Because we're going to be talking about business, life, and relationships. And what was funny, we were just talking a minute ago saying, well, number one, everyone has a life, no matter what shape that is in, but everyone has a life, right? Yeah, everyone's got relationships, whether it's intimate or with their family, or maybe it's even with themselves. And most people work in a business or they have a business. So I think the topics that we're going to talk about today are going to be super awesome. How do people deal with things going on in their personal life which could take them away or distract them or hinder the process of building a career or building a business or whatever they're obviously putting their hand to? So that's what I think that we could start off with. So what do you think on that, Camille?
I think, we all deal with difficult situations. Everyone's got something going on, whether we know about it or not. People go through things, are going through things, and life will always throw stuff at you, and it all depends on how you react to it. So you can either sit there and cry about it or feel sorry for yourself, or you can think, you know what, this has happened, and I'm just going to move past that and look into the future and try to make the most of the situation I'm in and not take any excuses. My thing is, there's no excuses. So whether you have children, whether you're single, whether you work in a job, whatever you do, there's no excuse. If you want to change your life, if you want to do something, then you can always do it, no matter how hard it can be. So I know you guys had changing circumstances as well. I went for a breakup. I've got 2 young kids, they're 7 now. It's hard, it's really hard. And you have doubts and you think, how am I going to do it? Am I doing the right thing? But as long as you keep going and you see that you're getting somewhere, it's okay to fall over sometimes, as long as you get back up.
We like to call
it. I don't know if you agree.
We like to call it a makeup. Not that it was a breakup, but it was a makeup to the future. That's what we like to call it. But so was there a time that because you say, okay, my attitude is I don't have any, I just, whatever happens, I don't want to create an excuse. So was there a time in your life where you did kind of make excuses or give reasons for not being able to do what you wanted to do?
No.
You literally always been like that?
Maybe I've always been like that, but maybe when I was in a relationship, I was in it unhappy for a number of years, and I justified. Nothing ever stopped me doing things. I mean, I went from working in a bank to leaving that, training as a midwife, while I was working and to trying to pay the mortgage, getting pregnant with twins in my 3rd year, finishing my degree on time despite having brand new twins, commuting to Southampton with 6-month-old twins, 3 hours there and back. So that was, to me, that's not a big deal. I always think if I've made a decision to do something, or something's happened, like that's my responsibility and I just have to deal with it. But maybe staying in a relationship longer than I should have, but then I did it for the kids and I tried to make it work. And I was thinking about other people rather than myself. So that's the only reason. Other than that, no, I can hand on heart say that never made excuses.
Wonderful. So that would be a luxurious position for people to be in. And there's 2 sides of it. So let's touch on one side. So everybody has had their path, right? Everybody's, gone through the experiences they have. So what are the experiences or what happened early on in your life that's given you this attitude of, no excuses?
I'm an immigrant, so I moved here when I was 15. So through my life, so I come from, my mum was in a violent, domestic violent relationship. We ran away from my father when I was 9 years old. And then we moved houses very regularly when I was young. We went from no money to having a lot of money, but her being in an unhappy relationship, moving countries. So I started again so many times that I'm just not scared of starting again. It's just a normal process to me. I think if something doesn't work, I just go again. So maybe having experience of that has made me a bit stronger and to know that it's okay when things don't work out.
Yeah, I totally get that because, I traveled to many different countries hearing many people's different journeys and stories, and all these people training thousands of people who are on their journey to creating success, and everybody has their path. So like, what advice would you give? I just want to bring it onto the panel right now. Like, what's the advice? What's the tips of like plugging in to those experiences and turning it into some kind of fuel or some kind of forward momentum? Because just before we go into that, because most people, right, they want to, they're here, yeah, and they want to go here, whether that's relationships, happiness, money, business, whatever, yeah. But most people have to first of all hit down here first before they start going up. And a wise man once said that from here to here is much shorter distance than from here to here. So why wait to go down? So what advice can we give to the people who might want to get into property, start a business, might not be happy in their current life circumstances? I mean, it's a bit of a taboo subject. People don't want to openly talk about, I'm not happy right now, and what about my relationship or my current situation at work or a job or a place where they're in. So let's get that beautiful thing fired up like a stove.
Oh my God. So, I mean, what can you advise someone? I think so many people are afraid of the change. They're just scared because they don't know what the other side is. Is this the fear of the unknown? Even though sometimes you're unhappy, you just think, oh, it's not that bad. My life is not that bad. I'm in this comfort bubble and things are okay. Yes, they're not where I want them to be, but I'm all right. And I don't want to be at the bottom. So like you said, most people wait to the point where at the bottom. And I was the same when I changed my jobs. It took me a while to leave my job. When I hit rock bottom, I thought, well, I've got no money. I'm on the verge of bankruptcy. I've got nothing to lose now, so might as well do it. Where before, I think sometimes having money in the bank or a well-paid job or, an okay relationship just gives you that comfort that distracts you from aiming for the best. So it's almost breaking that pattern of having to go down to the point where you've got no other choice. But then how can you give someone that advice when you've been in that position yourself, where you just want to drift? It's quite difficult. I don't know what to say other than take this step and go forward. But what would you say to someone? Because that's quite a difficult question, actually.
I love it when people bring these kind of questions, or maybe they don't even understand that this is a question they're asking. And the funny thing is, I'm always searching for like real teachers. I like to call them real teachers. Yeah, these real teachers are the ones that can create a situation or an experience for someone to really learn. Because most people think, they say, yeah, I mean, my grandma used to say this, like, experience is the best teacher. Yeah, well, what is still yet to be proven otherwise is experience is the only teacher. Like, nobody really truly learns something or acquires the knowledge, like the real knowing, until they experience it. Yeah, and you might think, some people probably think, yeah, but if I read a book, then I've acquired knowledge. No, you've gained insight, but it's not knowledge. Like, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know until you experience. Like I have insight that Australia exists, but I don't know Australia because I haven't experienced it. So in my opinion, like, to answer that question, we gotta then create a situation where somebody can experience taking that move, experience what it would be like or what it's like to have nothing, if that's what they need to get them going. Experience what it would be like to make that call or put that offer in on that property or start that business or take a move into the unknown. Like do something purely on, well, there's a process I'm supposed to follow. Let me just follow the process. I have like, for them, they're going into the uncertainty, but just to follow a process that somebody else has done, create that experience. That's what my answer would be. Like, my question is, or start that business, or is that you, Trisha?
Yes.
You want to watch it twice?
Share it.
Yeah. So based on that, that's what I like. My question is all like, how can we get them going in to something to create an experience?
Yeah, for me, what happened for me was that I just had like a moment in my life where I was in this corporate job, working all these hours, never seeing the children because they were just basically in nursery, or as soon as we'd get home from work, it was dinner, bath, bed, or dinner, homework, bed. It was so constant, and it just kind of became a cycle where I was missing out on loads of stuff. And like I've spoke about it quite a few times, but it was things like having the choice removed from me as to whether I could go to a sports day to see Courtney on a race. I wasn't allowed to because we had a meeting or whatever. Like, where was my priority? And my priority was the children and not missing stuff, because I knew that would have a meaning to her. Like, oh, what? You can't come? You can't watch me? And it was that kind of moment where I was like, well, you know what? I loved the kind of recognition I was getting in my job of feeling like I was winning and I was brilliant. But at the same time, I was like, it was the lack of, the money was okay, but it wasn't giving me experiences in my life. It was just kind of paying my mortgage and paying for nursery fees and stuff. There was nothing else left over to actually have an experience. So I think it was only when, like, I sat with you, Mark, and we were like talking about goals and things that we wanted to achieve, and both of us were kind of like, I don't really know how I'm going to do this, if ever, with doing what we were doing. Like, you were working 90 plus hours a week. I was working 50 plus hours. We obviously had the children. And it was just like, I physically don't know how much more I can do. And then I was like, oh, should I get another job? I could get a job in the evening when the children are in bed. I could, and then, because I was just like, I want so much more out of my life. I literally have no idea how to attain it. So I think it was that moment in my life which actually it was like a smack in the face or a wake up call to say, I need to look at alternative ways to give me more with me not having to do so much as well. Because it was things like having these experiences to travel to, have these moments in my life. Because it wasn't even about things, not stuff like that, having those material possessions. It was, having those experiences and the freedom to just say, do you know what? My daughter wants to swim with dolphins. Let's go to this place so we can go swim with dolphins, and not having to worry about how much it costs, or half-term holidays are triple the cost of a term time holiday. But then what about the fines? It was honestly, it's silly things like that, which I know now I kind of don't think about as much, but at the time, that was like, I can't afford that when I was just working in this job. So it was just those choices and experiences that I was robbing myself from, it was a thought process and how I had to think differently to be able to get myself a result that was absolutely like life-changing. So it was a choice. And what happened was, it was putting myself in a totally different environment, because my friends, my family, the people that I was working with all had the same kind of mindset, like work harder, do more, then you'll get promoted, you'll earn more, blah, blah, blah. Whereas when I actually opened myself up to a different environment, so, a different network of individuals, people that wanted to train, people that wanted to coach you, people that wanted to mentor you, people that wanted to add value to your life, to train you in an aspect that was going to create different opportunities. And it was so scary, like taking that decision to invest money in myself and my future without having that guarantee, without having that, but this is, get a better job and work hard and do it, the status quo. So that was the moment for me. And that's like, the thing that Camilla was talking about leaving her relationship to become a single mum, to have that unknown and that start again. It was me and you, like, ending our relationship. We knew it was for the better because we both had different goals and were very different people to what we were like 14 and a half years before. But it's that moment and that fear of like going into the unknown. And it is technically, it's like investing in yourself to give yourself those choices, that time to actually say, I want to do something else because I choose to give myself more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, so I just thought of something. So let's talk about this, because at the end, like, really what it comes down to then is like, why is it that I don't want to make that move? You know, why is it that I don't want to end that relationship or see if there's something out there business-wise, career-wise, other than, because you know what's funny? You know, I've built many businesses where I hired many people and we fired people too. And that's also happened to me, you know? In fact, I was fired 3 times by my dad. What's funny about that? Yeah. But every time I was like, oh no, but what if I'm not here anymore? What if I don't have this job? What if I don't have this income? Every single time, it always moved on to something that was better. And afterwards, and this had to, for me, by the way, because some guys out there, I know they're quicker than me in terms of getting it, but I had to bang my head against the wall a few times regarding, like, I had to see that happen a few times before I actually got it. Like, something's better is going to happen. I'm going to move on to something better rather than holding on to this stuff. So I think to put it out there to people, it's like, you got to ask yourself, well, what if I, you know, because this happens in business. People say, oh, what if I train my people so well that they leave? You know, I'm going to train them and they're going to leave. You know, like my purpose on this planet, I don't mind saying, is to teach people. I love creating real training for, like, creating a real experience so people actually learn from experience, which is the only teacher. Yeah, my passion is business. I love business. So in business, we teach all of our people very well. So the question is not what if I train them so well that they leave, it's what if I don't train them and they stay? How do we pose that question in life? Like, what if you invest in yourself or you have some training and most people are saying, and it don't work, yeah, or it don't pay off, or I don't see any better results, which in a way you're already intending not getting any results.
A lot of these things is taking accountability and knowing that, because we've been mentored, as you guys know, so you have been mentored, now you mentor people. It's someone can teach you what you need to know. They can show you exactly what you need to know and do, but it's up to you to take action. It's down to you. And it's not that they are the bad mentor or they don't know what they're talking about or they're scammers. Is that you have to then take these steps and apply them into what you do. And I don't know whether you see the same, but in the training world, in the property world especially, there's so much, you know, so many people going out there saying, oh, it's just a scam. It's just, you know, a pyramid scheme. These people just take money and they don't do anything. And how is it that some of us have amazing results and some of your students have amazing results and other people don't really move much at all? So, and for me, I don't know if you agree with that, it's literally taking accountability, knowing that a mentor will teach you, a mentor will guide you, a mentor will help you and tell you everything that you need to do, but a mentor will not do it for you. So if you pay for a training course, if you pay for mastermind mentorship, no one's going to do it for you. And accepting that it is on you and accepting that you are the one not taking actions, or you are not doing enough maybe, or maybe you're not doing it quite right and you need to change things. So I think taking accountability for your own life and for your results, to me, that's one of the most important things, because otherwise you're going to be all forever blaming other people for your unhappiness. You're going to be blaming other people for not getting the results. Or there's always something in the way. And it kind of links to, you know, no excuses. When I say no excuses, it's like taking accountability and the responsibility that this is on me. And if I have made an error or if I'm not getting where I want to be, then I need to look at myself and think, you know, use the people I've got available to me, because mentors are investing in a mentor is the best thing I've ever done and the best money I've spent. And using them and accessing them to say, can you please guide me, because I'm trying this is not working. What else could I do? But accepting that it is down to you to do that, whether it's a relationship, whether it's work, whether it's business, because it's like employing people, you know, working with people, having relationships. You know, if your relationship is not going right, thinking, is it the other person or is it both of us? You know, is it something that we can change or do? Or do we both need to make a significant change in this and move on to something else? I think once people have accepted that, they're in charge of their life, it makes it a lot easier for them to move on and get the results.
Now, there's a few things here to look into. I mean, one is that coaching and mentoring are very different. Yeah. And most people who are out there who say they're coaches, and I'm not bad mouthing anyone or disrespecting anyone. It's just that, I think the terminology is sometimes mixed up. Like, because someone who is they call themselves a coach, but really they're a mentor, meaning a mentor is somebody who's taken some steps and now they're going to mentor you on taking those steps. So a good mentor would be someone who is where you want to be, and they have been where you are. Yeah, that would be the best. That would be the best. A good coach is got to be someone who frees your life force, your power, your energy up from, the past or conditioning or your worries, your fear of taking action, moving you out, moving your rubbish out the way, so to say, so you can take a step forward. Yeah, so I think there's a big mix up between that. And then training, like there are some people out there that again have taken some steps, so they can say, hey, these are the steps that I've taken. And it like give a principle or a step-by-step guide and all the rest of it. And that's useful, again, to give insight. But again, then facilitation is very different. Facilitation is where I see the real teachers are, which they'll create an environment where people can then experience something, because experience is the only teacher, remember, to actually go out and do the real deal, do the real thing. So that is what I see is super important in that aspect of things. But another thing, what you mentioned, Camilla, is like, people like, oh, they get a mentor, mentoring is the best thing you've ever done, which I totally agree with. And I went years in my life for trying to figure it out myself and watching YouTube videos. I even tried to learn to play the guitar just from watching videos. I was too tired to pay 10 quid to somebody to, just teach me how to play the guitar. Yeah, now I must have spent I've spent over 300,000 on training, and coaching and mentoring and all of that stuff. Yeah, and what's funny is the only people that ever say that either that's crazy or you're just saying that to invest in yourself is a good thing because you want people to invest in your program or whatever. The only people that say that are the ones that are not really seeing a benefit, like they're not invested in some good training or a good coach. Because anyone that is already totally on the mindset of they're never going to not train. So Camilla, we have this thing that we do in our tribe and all of our training, right? And we say this thing. We say that you always got to, like, we never ever want people to forget this. And that is to do the right thing for the right reason. Now, why is that?
My reason, freedom.
You must do the right thing for the right reason for your freedom. Or yeah.
So. Or like, I know what you mean. Karma. No, so my thing is karma, because it'll get you.
Okay, cool. So that's good. And we always ask this question because we always then see, have people been watching videos and things like that? Well, people are putting it in the comments right now. But I also like to add content. I mean, that's good. Do the right thing for the right reason because of karma. That is absolutely true. But the main reason, it's not the only reason, because you just added another reason. So thank you for that. But people are saying on here, like, you got to do the right thing for the right reason, because that is the only way that you will discover your true potential. So thank you so much for joining us on here today. It's been totally amazing. I'm sure there'll be plenty more things happening with the comments and people asking questions and all of that. But yeah, great. Thank you for making yourself available. You added a lot of value here to the people. So there's some good karma already. And yeah, just totally amazing. I think our mastermind has already started. We went over a little bit, but that's good. Yeah, so thank you so much, Camilla.
Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.